Castle Radio FM.
I'm Andrew Charles of Castle Radio FM. I recently spoke with a man named Craig Dignam, who's a serving soldier in the British Army, who's doing a sponsored walk from Torrox on the east of Malaga down to the top of the Rock of Gibraltar in April. They're raising money for homeless veterans in the UK for the charity SSAFA, which is the Soldiers, Sailors, Air Force Association. They're aiming to raise £2,000, and at the time of the interview, they had already raised £310. That has increased somewhat since. I spoke to Craig, and, well, have a listen. I'm speaking with Craig Dignam, and he's a serving soldier in the UK, and he's planning a walk, a sponsored walk, from Torrox in east of Malaga there, down to Gibraltar. And but basically what they're doing, it's himself, and I believe it's your son, isn't it?
No, it's my nephew, Danny.
Your nephew, Danny. And you're raising money for homeless veterans in the UK for the SSAFA charity, the Armed Forces charity. You're hoping to raise £2,000, I understand. And, well, why don't you take it from here? Tell me what it's all about, Craig.
Well, thanks, Andrew. Thanks for having me on your show. Basically, yes, I'm a serving soldier. I've been in the Army for 36 years now. So getting to the twilight years of my service, but I've been raising money for all the three armed forces charities for the last 10 years. But this year, significantly, I decided that I wanted to raise money for homeless veterans because you know there's so much of this on the streets now. I think there's about, on the last count, 6,000 or 7,000 soldiers and sailors and airmen who are actually on the streets.
Yes.
And it just really does bring it home to me that we need to really, really help these guys, because once they leave the forces, which is like we live in a bubble, they struggle with
That's right, yeah.
PTSD and everything. So Danny and I decided to do something with SSAFA and raise good money for homeless veterans to try and get them off the streets and get them a home, somewhere to live, which is more, just what they deserve, really, Andrew.
Of course it is, yeah. I mean, we all struggle. We could all be in that position once we left the forces. I left a long time ago. But even today, 30, 40 years later, I still struggle to fit in, which is, it's a difficult thing and common with ex-service personnel. Just to explain to listeners that don't know, well, many of them know that I'm always talking about homeless veterans, but also what SSAFA stands for, which is the Soldiers, Sailors, Air Force Association, if I'm right.
That is absolutely correct, Andrew.
Absolutely, and supporting all ex-servicemen. So, okay, so you're going to leave from Torrox. All right.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, and what date is it you're planning that from?
Well, we're planning to leave Torrox. Well, we are leaving Torrox on the 17th of April, and timing's not really sure, but obviously weather permitting. The cooler, the better for Danny and I.
Of course.
We've got lovely temperatures out there. So obviously we're planning to leave very early in the morning, and our first leg of the journey is going to take us all the way to Benalmadena. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Benalmadena.
Benalmadena, that's right.
That's the one.
And so that's quite a long slog, Andrew, the first day. But
that is a very long slog, to be honest.
Yeah, so we're hoping to do it at a pace roughly of about 15-minute miles. That's the plan, but obviously weather conditions and so on will dictate.
Yeah.
So we can't plan exact timings, but we are obviously trying to get many miles under our feet straight away, on the first day.
Yes, good idea. And you're hoping it's going to take 3 or 4 days to hit the rock. Are you actually going are you just going into Gibraltar, or are you going to head for the top of the rock?
Oh, we're going to the top of the rock.
Via the Med Steps?
We're going to go whichever route is the one we can manage, which I think probably, we're going to do the best one, which will be the steps, to be fair.
Get a taxi. Go on.
No. The challenge is to get to the top of the rock, and that's what we intend to do. And that'll be on the 4th day, hopefully. That'll be the 20th of April.
Right.
I'm very conscious there's a lot of support in Gibraltar as well that they're planning and for our arrival. And I must also say that there's been a great deal of support in Spain already. Phenomenal. I'm feeling quite humbled by the expats community and the veterans out there that are actually supporting this venture.
Yes, well, we have put word around for you in our area, and hopefully that will come. Something will come to fruition in the next week. But there are, I know several ex-soldiers who run bars here and such like, and they will, of course, give you support. In fact, even one of them's from your area. But there you go.
that is fantastic. But I mean, it's quite humbling, really, to see the support. I mean, obviously, we're getting lots of UK support as well from obviously the normal family and friends.
Yes. And
fellow servicemen that are still serving. They're helping with the charity and they're making their donations through the Just Giving site.
Yeah.
And what I'm trying to do as well now is try and get the numbers up on the group page, which is, that will then bring awareness to what we're doing.
Yes.
And it's the normal form, Andrew, with the sharing your media. On the Facebook group pages. Yes,
that's good. Now, when do you expect to be passing through our area? I think that's about day 3, isn't it? Or is it day 3?
Yeah, I think it's day 3. I'm not very familiar with the map of Spain.
Yes, it is. I've actually got your map, your route map here in front of me that was sent to me by Dean, who's the organiser, of course, and lives in Torrox. And so, yes, according to this, you pass through us. The third day is about a 9-hour route that you're walking. And looking at this, I envisage that you'll probably pass us about almost exactly halfway through that 8 hours. So if you get started out at 7:30 in the morning, if that's your aim, then I would imagine sort of around midday-ish you'll pass by us here, and hopefully we can get people on the street. Now, my question for you is, when you pass through, will you be on the main road, which is of course quite dangerous, or taking the coastal road, the beach road?
Well, my route planner, which is my nephew Danny, he's the logistician, and he's going to be planning the whole route. And I think we're going to go for safety reasons. Yeah, we're going to go as close to the coast as possible.
Yes.
However, we're going to obviously take time to see these people that are supporting us en route.
Okay.
And I have the support of my lovely wife Nikki and niece Katie, who are mine and Danny's partners, obviously wives, and they're our wives.
They're going to make the sandwiches, are they?
They're going to be making sure we have plenty of water supplies, and they're going to be in a vehicle doing the admin support, if you like. They're going to be doing the making sure that we're okay and everything, with change of socks and so on, and t-shirts.
Yeah, well, as squaddies, we do need that sort of organisation, don't we, from women?
we do need some
Army wives, support. The best in the world, Craig.
Without them, we'll be absolutely ruined, Andrew.
Absolutely. I always say to Karen, my wife and I, and better known here as Karen the tea lady, how she's put up with me for 36, 37 years, I really don't know. I couldn't live with me for that long. I really couldn't.
I must admit, I'll concur with that comment, Andrew. My wife has lived the last 10 years of me walking and raising money for charities, and I don't know how she's still putting up with me, to be fair. But, without them, we're absolutely with nothing, really.
Absolutely, the support network. And listen, at least along the way, you are going to pass. Have you been along this part of the coast? Have you driven the route at all?
I have driven there a few years ago. We stayed in a lovely little place called Mijas. In the mountains. Yeah. We hired a villa in Spain for my wife's 40th birthday, actually.
Oh, lovely.
And we drove past that way on the way to Gibraltar.
You would have done, absolutely, yes. Yes, you would have done.
But unfortunately, we didn't really stop. It was a quick drive through, look at the rock and see the monkeys and so on. And, but No, I've never really ever frequented that part of the world properly.
Right.
I'm very much looking forward to doing it.
Well, you've got some
Yeah,
great scenery to look at, that's for sure, Craig. Absolutely fantastic scenery. That should take your mind off it, because by day 3, I feel quite sure you're going to be suffering a little. I hope not, but I feel quite sure you will be. It's quite arduous. And, of course, April, it's just going to be starting to get warm. Today, this is Sunday, and it's, where are we? The 3rd of March, and it's right at this moment in time. It's 20.6 degrees Celsius at 1:32 in the afternoon. So
Wow.
it's starting to warm up a bit now. But I think so long as you make sure your water intake is kept up, and as we all know, as soldiers, sipping it is better than guzzling it.
Absolutely, yeah.
And
Absolutely.
rest. You're going to be stopping to rest now and again, presumably.
We will be having planned stops, but like Danny's the route master. He's going to make sure. He's my pace setter, really. 'Cause he's 20. Well, he's nearly 30 years younger than me.
Oh, is he?
Well, actually, no, he's 20 odd years. Sorry, Danny, if you're listening. But yeah, he's 28 or 29 now, Danny, now. So,
all right, yeah.
And I'm nearly 54.
Just
so
a nig.
He's the nig. Yeah,
He's the
that's
nig.
right. We understand each other. That's the language we use. Yeah, so he's very new. Bless him.
Oh,
but he's a rock to me as well, because we have done previous ventures. We
yes,
walked
you have, haven't you?
Last year, a year before, we went on a 100-mile walk to raise money for Cancer Research UK and for the Bradford Burns Unit in memory of the Bradford fire disaster.
Yeah,
and that was a family affair, actually, Andrew. Danny and I walked, and my brother Paul.
Yeah.
And my 2 other nephews, Paul and Bobby. And we walked 100 miles in 3.5 days through the Peak District, from Walsall to the Bescott Stadium to Bradford City, obviously in Bradford.
Yes,
and
yeah,
that was great. That was a great family venture, and yet again, our lovely wives were the admin team.
Yeah, Danny did tell me about that walk, and it's not the only one you've done either, is it? I mean, you've done, what do you do? Walk a mile with a smile for the RMBT and AFB, the Soldiers Charity, RAF, BF, and
that's fine. Yeah. I challenged myself, because back in November 16, I was diagnosed with diabetes type 2, and that was a great shock to me. Well,
tell me.
So basically, I decided, I'm not going to, I'm only a young man, and this is ridiculous, really. So I chose to walk, because I can't run from my previous injuries in service. So that's why I walk. And I decided to challenge myself, a personal challenge, and do walk a mile with a smile. And that was a 6-month challenge to myself. And I gave a mile to each of the charities and a mile for me.
Yes, yeah.
And at the end of the 6-month challenge, I'd walked over 800 miles.
So I was seeing. Yeah, I mean, that's really, really good. Obviously, now I also was diagnosed 3-4 years ago as type 2 diabetes, so I understand the challenges. And I also don't run anymore, can't run anymore, actually. And I couldn't do what you're doing either. About 400 metres is my limit at the moment. Then I have to sit down and have a beer. And the only time I ever run is if the bar's closing. But apart from that, that's really good. I mean, I'm very, very impressed, and I'm very proud of you guys for doing it. Making the attempt, and we will, Castle Radio FM. We will give you whatever support we can, as we can, when we can. And definitely see you as you pass through Savoniers, that's for sure. I might, if you're walking, not running, aren't you? Yeah, that's right. I might even get to walk with you and interview you as you pass through, as we're moving. That might be an idea.
That would be lovely, Andrew. Yeah, because I think Danny and I, after probably about 80 so miles, will be probably in your area, 80 something, around about 80 miles.
Yes.
We might have had enough of each other's company by then, so that would be really nice, Andrew. Thank you.
You'll have to walk one each side of the road. It'll be as easy as that.
Yeah, exactly.
But yes, certainly we'll go down. I'm going to go down this week and try and arrange to get some tins, collection tins in the bars for you. And some, sponsorship, maybe maybe, and see what we can do to help this. Because now your aim is £2,000, and the last I heard you had £310. Is that increasing any much?
Well, I am absolutely delighted. We've had a bit of a drive going, and must have a big shout out to Dean Neeland, really. Dean has absolutely marketed this beyond belief for me, and obviously our Facebook page is now growing in numbers.
Yes.
And we've now almost raised, including gift aid, obviously for the British taxpayer, you get 25%. Oh. It's nearly £900 now, Andrew.
Oh, that's good. That's coming on great. And you've still got what, a month?
We've got 48 days. Is it 45 days until we actually start the walk? So it's.
That's excellent.
Yeah,
that is really good.
I think we will smash the £2,000. Well, I'd like to think we will, because clearly the people you guys in Spain and Gibraltar, are obviously doing the tin side of it. Most of the income has come from British taxpayers, and which is quite wise, really.
Yes.
And so that's why the fund is nearly £900, which is phenomenal.
That's really good. Let's see if we can't get your target and more. I think I don't see why not. It's phenomenal. I'm just really pleased that that will go towards helping homeless military veterans, which it needs to happen. We won't go into the ins and outs of the Covenant, the British Military Covenant, because we all know the score there anyway. But okay, listen, I'm gonna say a cheerio because obviously we have to crack on. Anything else you would really like to get in before we close the interview?
I'd just like to say a massive thank you to everybody in Spain and Gibraltar who have actually supported Danny and I and worked alongside Dean and made this happen. Danny and I are absolutely humbled by the support that the expat community in Spain and Gibraltar and the forces, the veterans, you're just amazing, and we just thank you so much for your help, and all the other people that have actually given us accommodation for overnight stays. It's just phenomenal, and we can't thank you enough.
Well, we wish you all the best, Craig. And, maybe see you soon. That's the thing, isn't it? Really good luck with it. We're very proud of you for doing that. Thank you very much indeed. Okay, I'll say bye-bye.
Thank you, Andrew. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.